really great CGI. Providing us with a much appreciated semi-complete world map this early on, just establishing the anime right off the bat with a little lore. Floki from Vinland Saga and the kind old grandpa from My Dress Up Darling, both of which I've covered by the by. Also though, moving him within the scene like a moving camera shot like it's no big deal. Also be sure to hit that subscribe button. 70% of my regular viewers aren't subscribed, so that and hitting the like button and leaving a proper comment are massively appreciated. Okay, so 2 wins here. Firstly, it's immediately noticeable that effort has gone into inventive camera shots, such as this zoomed out shot here and the twist from Win the Before I mentioned, plus that fading effect. But also they stuck like an astonishing 35 frames into his "oh my god, what have I done" moment.
Karen,
Takio from the outstanding Ore Monogatari. This moment serving as a nice setup to not only his character, but also what it means to be a spy in this particular story, going from place to place, lying and stealing and cheating your way to your mission's goal. I gotta admit, it's a personal win, but I love stuff like this. I'm a big fan of movies like Mission Impossible and games like Hitman, so getting missions all covertly is awesome to me. Genuinely, one of the most stunningly gorgeous looking scenery shots since I finished making videos on Jobless Reincarnation. Going first person like it's absolutely no big deal at all. Also though, giving us a look at yet more lore as we learn how one of the largest characters of the show was living up till this point in the story, whilst at the same time giving an insight into his frame of mind, such as how he can personally make use of a child living in such a tragic condition work to his benefit, which will nicely come full circle alongside his character arc later on. The dichotomy of this tragically adorable moment as she tries to make herself appear slightly taller and thus older in order to be adopted. Vivi from Vivi Fluorite Ice Song. Also though, Waku Waku. Totes adorbs. Using CGI and hand animation to effortlessly create a living, breathing, feeling city. How are you just gonna throw like 65 frames into this moment and move on like it's nothing? Her facial reactions are utterly priceless and full of expression, made more prominent by her not speaking much at this point, so you derive a lot from them. Putting actual writing in this book. Oh my word, it's so adorable, but also under the surface so sad that she keeps trying to stick to him like glue. Reminds me of my labs my wife and I have to take everywhere or they'd get upset. I'm very happy that her power wasn't designed as a comedy gag, but instead was given an actual backstory quite reminiscent of Elle in Stranger Things. First battle of the anime is tight! Unexpected plot twist! That's an excellent storytelling technique right there, not just dropping it randomly, but at a pivotal moment after the rescue, something which probably also surprised him, that he followed through on rescuing someone he felt was replaceable earlier. Not only not running on the spot, but another example of just a nice, clean and different style of editing on display.
ちょっと怖かった。アーニャ、お家帰りたい。父とアーニャのお家。
そうか。じゃあ帰ろう。
They can have two max wins right here. Firstly, it's for this rotating view, just more creative editing really, but also it's for this lovely moment. It was done really nicely and made me feel incredibly wholesome.
あった！合格だ！でかした！
50% of this win is for the art style. The movements are gorgeous and truly unique, I think because it requires so much extra efforts on the behalf of the animators, and the other 50% is for a display of genuine joy here from him. Oh my goodness! Great OP right here with a killer song, no pun intended, and an awesome piece of drumming too, but what I really liked was the mix of seeing the world through the eyes of the child, almost drawn by a child, then flipping the switch to the adults in the real world with great clean and crisp animation coming into play. That was awesome! This is a rare win from me personally, where the women in general are just nice. I likes what I sees, you feel me?
私で独り身はないわね。怪しい怪しい。
そうなのですね。ご忠告感謝します。
Nishimiya from A Silent Voice and Amale from Iruma-kun.
ちゃんと続けてますって。
姉さん変わってるから心配なんだよ。そろそろ結婚とかどうなの？いい人いないの？
Giorno Giovanna.
じゃあね、おやすみ。
It's an odd moment to point out the art style of the anime, but I just noticed her earrings and it reminded me to win it. It's very unique and clean in its own way. Really interesting contrast between her personality and his. He's all about the job from episode 1, whereas she's very attentive of her little brother, even worried about limiting his promotion. That is until a job comes in and she switches. That's well done.
監査局のブレない時間ですよね。大変恐縮なのですが。
雇用主の命じるまま汚れ仕事を請け負い続けてき。
無理ですよ。
Absolutely ridiculous levels of kawaii right there, goodness me! Also though, I'll avoid showing it, but they went all in on the blood. No shying away from it. You lean into that dark side because I don't mind it one bit. This would have taken someone ages to create. Props!
邪魔じゃないよ。心配せずにテレビでも見てろ。
They're bonding and it's really sweet.
たやすく俺の背後。何者だ？夜。あった。
This is an excellent way by which to showcase his mental abilities.
殺し屋スパイ殺し屋あーにゃワクワク
意志でもあるのです。
父嘘つき
I know I mentioned before that her ability isn't just added for a comedy gag effect, but it definitely is also used that way, like right here too.
西側から盗まれた美術品の回収及び密輸組織の壊滅。
You can't seriously tell me that that's not clever, bruh.
待て待て、俺はただの情報屋であって戦闘力がゴミだって。
Getting through from Hunter x Hunter. That is an insanely well done one-shot sequence.
あれはきっと我が国の出生率を下げるために使わされたスパイなのよ。
I like the universe this anime takes place in. This current area is very Soviet Russia-esque. Everyone seems to be reporting on everyone else who doesn't fit the mold.
ここで置いても
遅くなり申し訳ない。夜の夫のロイド・フォージャーです。
This epic damn plot twist!
にこんなスマートイケメン旦那がいるわけない。恥かかせてやるわ。
足がもつれて
That was sick!
素敵です。夜は両親を早くに亡くし。
Excellent example of his ability to think on his feet, but at the same time they work really nicely together at such an early stage, and that's portrayed really well.
夜さん捕まって。
They do these bits so well. Their use of CGI is top notch so far.
結婚しませんか
This.
夜さん 病める時も悲しみの時もどんな困難が訪れようとも共に助けよう。
This moment just absolutely nailing the atmosphere and style that the manga and anime were going for. I loved that, it was truly unique. Also, have another one here for choosing to skip the ED in favour of more juicy content. Smallest and weirdest win of the video goes to this box, looking like it's got handwriting on it, little logos and tape and dent marks on it. That's nuts.
母夜フォージャー市役所職員正体殺し屋
That outfit though.
ワクワク。
父母娘
I like this dynamic. I like the style and vibe they're going for. It's pushing all the right buttons. Just a personal win, really.
アーニャ一人で顔洗える。
アーニャさん偉いです。
私がキメラだ。よろしくお願いするます。
Twins Dogs!
お前はバケツをひっくり返しただけだろ。お前は粉まみれになって邪魔した後はピーナッツつまみ食いしてただけだろ。
That. They have no business creating food and drink that looks this good.
アーニャじゃ住所？
ここのことだ。
アーニャんち。
そういうことじゃない。お母様の教育方針は
先手必勝？
よく弟がまっとうに育ったなこの人。
City Senior Shot.
でハグしてあげたら肋骨2本折ってしまったこともありましたっけ？
They really do use these to great comedic effect. She's unique if nothing else. Originally I wasn't going to mention it, but since they've now done it no less than 3 times, take a win for taking the time to animate and use CGI reflections in the windows. That's a nice added touch of realism. This bit looks so good I'm legit treating the previous food win as being for baked goods only, and this one does for a proper meal. I mean, that looks fantastic, and it's animated too, not static since she picks at it. Take note, other anime companies, this is how you do CGI effectively.
父、
どうした？
ケーキ食べたい。
Finding a way to be helpful to her new parents without giving away her ability like a pro. That was so simple, and yet at the same time, likely one of the greatest physical takedowns I've ever seen edited in an anime.
ありがとうね。助かったわ。
あ、いえ。
ありがとうね。いい男だね。
いや、だから。ありがとう、ヨルさん。
You've been subscribed for a while, you'll know my love for weird humour, and this right here fits the bill.
父と母イチャイチャ。
してない。
Ah, this budding relationship coming into bloom nice and slowly, I'm loving it.
ここは最高。
I had a big old genuine smile on my face watching the end of this episode as they sit together like this. Felt very natural, very warm and kind and wholesome. Was a good moment. You know me, it's very rare that I give 2 max wins to an OP or ED, but in this case the ED is getting it. Firstly, it has a great song that I really vibed with, but most importantly, it was then backed up by spectacular visuals. The editing especially was off the charts crazy good. Then we get to the end, and it's yet more warm visuals of them as a family, bright and colourful in contrast, and yet when they're home, they have no reason to pretend to be a family, and yet do it anyway. That was excellent to me. Internally, they've done a cracking great job of creating a legit home. There's loads of nice little details to look at. I've mentioned it before, but this again is how CGI should be handled. Hand drawn up close, CGI to back it up from a distance, really nicely done.
今年の受験生は質が低いな。エレガンスに欠けるものばかりだ。
Bang from One Punch Man.
期待外れだ。泥にまみれた格好で我が学び屋に入れると思うなよ。
被害意識持参しておいてよかったですね。
こんなこともあろうかと思わんでしょ、普通。
Oh my word, whoever wrote that line for him is an absolute genius, as is the voice actor for pulling it off. She is such such a badass. I love her, and that shot was so good too. Reminded me of Seiko from High School of the Dead.
大丈夫ます。怖くない。
Being nice to animals is always a win. Yeah, that was never going to skirt by without a win now, was it?
こんなこともあろうかともう一着備えてありますので。
なんかもうエレガントっていうか怖いこの人たち。
They brought 3 changes. Mentioning prior events which sound actually interesting and I'd like to hear more about. Even though right now it's ultimately for a mission, you can't miss the genuine moments of affection spilling out from him from time to time, becoming more and more frequent as they spend more time as a family, and it's really nice to witness in all honesty, and paced out very well too.
どっちも女がやって当たり前のやつだし。
それはそうだ、落ち着け。何を苛立ってるんだ、黄昏。
Not only do these moments speak to his current state of attachment to his newfound family, but it also speaks to him as a person. It's true he's been harsh to others like the fake girlfriend during episode 1, but he never cared for her. She was just part of the mission. But now he cares for his wife as a person, and it shows.
組織のボスの秘密を暴きたいです。
何言ってるの、おい。
素晴らしい心のお医者さんです。
鼻が詰まってるのかな。
Yet another excellent joke using her ability. Also, nice little sound effect right there when she's using it.
じゃあ今のままと前のままどっちが高得点だ。
スワン先生。
こいつの実の親はおそらくもう。アーニャ。
That was legitimately heartbreaking, and all the credit in the world goes to her incredible voice actress for pulling that off.
我慢だ。黄昏。
Incredibly well done, not only as he's diving in slow motion whilst internally he's sounding calm, but because it also means that in spite of seemingly being the most calm in the room, he was actually enraged by the insult against his wife and for the tears his daughter was shedding in that moment.
子供の気持ちを軽んじるのが貴校の教育理念なのでしたら選ぶ学校を間違えました。
Definitely worthy of a quick follow-up win for turning the situation on its head here too. Very clever. My boy Bang being a legend right there gets it another win.
任務が失敗になったら学校行かないと一緒が終わっちゃう。
アーニャ。
Never thought I'd be forced to issue out 2 voice actor wins so close together, and yet here we are, and here I am with a broken damn heart.
君は黄昏とは面識がなかったな。奴はウエスタリス一のスパイと謳われる男だ。だからそう心配するな。
All for one from my hero. I mean, that's stupidly well detailed.
にゃーにゃ合格。
Anya's Anya will be accepted ritual dance.
よく頑張ったな、アーニャ。
With the added flair and fanfare, even I'm over the moon that she's in.
お城で助けられごっこ。
無理、却下。
This just smacked of Konosuba. Cheekily and sneakily gaining the use of a plane and search for his non-daughter like a legend non-father that he is.
母は何でもいい。ゴーン。
She did the thing!
アーニャちゃんの好きな食べ物は何でしょう。
ピーナッツ。
おお、正解。
Obviously I'm avoiding showing too much to stray from silly copyright numpties, but have a win here for him just straight up being the best dad ever, renting that entire castle even if it wasn't with his own funds, and getting the entire spy agency involved. Also, it avoids being silly, since logically you could argue that without her being happy and attending the school he'd fail in this all-important mission anyway, which is very clever in all honesty, as it does avoid that plot hole.
では次のステージに進む。
Aww, this reaction! Making this part of the episode so incredibly vivid with its colour palette. Waka waka is all I can say. Goodness me though, what incredibly smooth and gorgeous looking animation in that sequence right there. I loved the addition of a little Brazilian jiu-jitsu looking move too, which he broke out of. That was brilliant and well worth 2 max wins. This legit good sounding tune right here. Also though, I love Yor just drunkenly enjoying life. They seriously aren't messing around when it comes to Spy X Family's animation budget. It's smooth, it's filled with frames and the hard work and dedication from animators, and I adore them for the effort and result. Just like the end of episode 2 with the grenade pin ring scene, this just fits the vibe of the anime to a T. This landing, get out of here! Spy X Family just smashing yet another max 2 wins right there. They take battles more seriously with a degree of extra realism not often seen in anime. For example, her boxing was on point, working the body excellently too, attacking from the ground as well. And of course, it all looked and sounded great. You go Yor with your drunken boxing!
Yor-san, 大丈夫ですか?
Sleeping literal beauty.
よくぞここまでたどり着いたなロイドマン。だがこの私はそう簡単か。
Yes!
助けに来たよ、アーニャ姫。
Such a lovely end to the episode. I enjoyed how he stayed in character when he could have been annoyed at being put through the ringer like he was. I loved the other spies really getting into it, and then especially this end with colourful and beautiful looking fireworks.
Anya, 学校も頑張る。
Tootsadobs!
いえ、僕は田舎の三流ででして。
あら、じゃあ気をつけて。
Great bit of lore being dropped right here and without coming across as exposition, which nicely sets up the next part of the story. I'll grant you, it's definitely a small win, but personally I just liked his reaction to being kind of annoyed that the agency is passing messages via the ruining of his food. Oh, it's really bombed up in here!
イーデンカレッジ全校生徒およそ2500人6歳から19歳までの全13学年生特待生に選出されるにはステラと呼ばれる報奨を8つ獲得する必要がある
This briefing being a clever way by which to also drop some lore on us, again without exposition, which is great.
制服のアーニャかわいい？かわいいです、かわいいです。アーニャの制服です。バーン。制服のアーニャです。バーン。
Non-opportunistic win cliche, where the weather is just doing its thing and doesn't only kick in after an important scene or statement is said. Not running on the spot.
何をしているのですか私はその子の母親です
My wife, who would definitely 100% not yours, is a total badass and I love her for it.
食材もこんなにしてしまったし私ってはダメな母親です
アーニャ強くてかっこいい母好き。よしよし。
何してるの？
入学準備です。
せい。
Giving these two a proper bonding moment like this for the first time, alleviating her fears of not being motherly enough and the girl's fears of not being strong enough to face what's coming.
庶民は本当ずうずうしいですね。
庶民金が移るからあっち行け。
感情に任せて力を振るうものは真の強者とは言えません。ちょっとした意地悪くらいなら笑って流せるのがかっこいいお姉さんですよ。
Two wins here. Firstly, it's for a genuinely good life lesson for kids, in my opinion. Secondly, it's for this entire deep dive on the school. It could have been very surface level, but instead we're getting to see a great deal of the school, learn about how it's organised, who the targets are, and so on and so forth.
ガキ ぽいだなんて間違っていたわ。あなた意外と大人なのね。ちょっと見直したわ。
This kind of humor is so up my street you have no idea. It looks so weird.
おい、どこ見てんの？ビビったのか？
This! Oh my goodness, so much this! I actually knew full well that it was coming once her eyes lit up. But did that stop my jaw from dropping and a literal audible gasp to escape from my throat? Absolutely not, no. Take 2 max wins right there. Gorgeously well done too. They didn't kid around.
この子の足踏んでたからアーニャ怒っちゃった。ごめんなさい。私のためにアーニャちゃん。
Oh, she's making her first real friend and I'm here for it like a proud anime wins dad.
資本を納め、だが友のためには男子にも毅然。
A prime example of a typical win, multiple conversations taking place during the same scene, adding realism. The fact that I can't tell if this is CGI or not is win-worthy.
おはよう夜さん、朝食できてますよ。怒らないから出てこい。早く食べないと遅刻するぞ。
I wonder why we love these family scenes so much. I'm interested to know your opinions. Let me know in the comments and let's figure this out. Also, press subscribe because I'm in love with you in a platonic way.
人間って浅はかよね。表面的な情報でしかものを見れないっていうか。
Hachikuchi from Bakemonogatari and the pupster from School Live, which, by the by, still absolutely breaks me. Haven't seen it in years, just YouTubed that scene, and yeah, broken inside again.
じゃあいいか。いいわよ。
いや、よくない。
あ、父。
謝れアーニャ、仲直りするんだ。
なんかすごいプレッシャー感じる。アーニャの教科書だけなんか違う。
The extreme but hilarious lengths he's going to try and resolve the situation. Being legends and pouring a massive amount of frames into this scene.
アーニャ本当はお前と仲良くしないでさ。
違う、そういうのじゃない。解くんじゃない。
The way this was handled, very tasteful and with nice effects to demonstrate his emotions in the moment. Speaking of pouring a massive amount of frames into a scene,
ロイドさん、こういうのは無理にやらせても良くないのでは。
the way this whole scene was done, with the end result being that it was handled like a family would do so, trying to take into consideration everyone's feelings. Truth be told, what I'm heavily gleaming from this is that they'd be genuinely great parents together. I mean, they are being that, even if on the surface it's fake.
違うよ姉さん。クモは昆虫じゃないんだよ。
Getting a bit of backstory at last about her brother.
アーニャさん言ってたじゃないですか。100点満点だって。ロイドさんはアーニャさんにとって立派な父親です。
他人でもよその家族でもないですよ。あなたは今フォージャー家の母親ですから。
そうでした。私人妻でした。
父のため。
They can have a separate win here for this follow-up to win number 142, where everything I felt was actually put out into the open as they all grow a little, and it's wonderful to see. Stunning looking city scenery shot, look at that!
姉さんが結婚してた。
End of episode, uh-oh win!
3分の3。
全然不正解。
Kona Super Comedy! They create some beautiful looking outdoor set pieces in this anime, really filled with realism and life.
はい、頑張ります。
ユーリ・ブライアン20歳。
50% of this win is obviously for the reveal that her brother is essentially one of the enemy. The other 50% is for Spike's family, again, not being afraid to lean into his darker side, as is shown here.
あなたにとっては紙切れ1枚かもしれないが、それによって我が国の大勢の命が危険にさらされるかもしれないんだ。わかるかい？僕はあなたと違って家族を、姉さんを愛している。
Building him as a decent villain by showing his morality at the same time.
そうだ、正解だ。
残弾数8分の2。
大変ですロイドさん。
おかえり夜さん。
残弾数8分の2。
Saying this a second time like it's relevant to what she's saying.
大丈夫です。私とっておきの言い訳を考えてあるんです。
どうなの姉さん、なんで言ってくれなかったの？
忘れてたからです。
ロッテー、うわー、できたー、うわー。
I don't even fully understand what's happening, but it's killing me. Are you freaking kidding me with that piece of artwork? I mean, look at the literal draw distance.
カルパティアにはよく行きましたよ。天使のじいさんが作るシチューが絶品で。
This whole scene seeing an intelligent Lloyd facing off against her brother is really interesting, and I must say again, I do just enjoy how the spy factor is mixed in.
僕は生涯をかけて彼女を守り抜きます。
隕石だと。
Unexpected art style change.
今ここでキスしてみろ。1回だけでいい。それで僕も納得する。
そんなことでよければ。
Hilariously well done shenanigans in what was quite the tense and sometimes dark episode.
ちょっと待ってください。
嘘、なんてみだらな。やっぱり僕の目の前で他の男とキスなど。
Getting creative with the editing, I love it. Man, they don't half do these impact shots incredibly well on this one, from the daughter at school to this, and of course their fight at the castle too.
ひとまず姉さんの唇は貴様に預ける。
何を言ってるんですか。
She got him again.
またいつでも遊びに来てください。夜さんも喜ぶし。
Lloyd just straight up being the best assassin of all time by killing with kindness right there.
とにかく覚えてろよ。
All the credit in the world to whoever's job that was to do the scene of him leaving. Goodness me, the frames.
おはえます。父、今日はなんだか緑色。
Twitch knobs!
すべて演技で初めから俺に近づくための嘘だったとしたら、盗聴器を仕掛けるのはさすがにやりすぎか。いや、不安の目は積んでおかねば。
As much as I adore their budding family dynamic and the relationships forming within it, I gotta give credit for having him be faced with these thoughts after the events of last night. Given his profession and how good he is at it, it would be a bit of a plot hole if he overlooked everything, so I appreciate this.
心なしか、今日はロイドさんの間合いが遠い気がします。もしかしたら不甲斐ない私にご立腹なのかもしれません。
警戒せねば。
父と母、仲良くしないとダメ。
別に喧嘩なんかしてないぞ。
Her ability comes in handy here as a storytelling mechanic too, since she's able to see the decline of her newly formed loving family where she's truly happy right now by listening to their thoughts.
いいからおとなしくし。
私、既婚者だと申し上げました。気安く触れないでください。たとえあなた方相手でも私、容赦いたしません。
Yours being a badass again!
私ってば、見た目にすら気を使えないような至らぬ妻で。
His words here are not only true to real life, but also incredibly honest and heartwarming in the moment.
結婚相手がロイドさんでよかったです。
No! Now that was heartwarming! Goodness me, that was genuine and lovely! It's pure art! What a shot!
ケーキありますよ、アーニャさん。
ケーキ食べる。
A gorgeous end to a gorgeous episode right there. Have a final win for that. So much extra animation that they didn't have to inject into the episode, but they did it anyway. This is a prime example of going to, quite frankly, ridiculous levels to add realism to a scene. I mean, this room is filled with insane detail. Even the pattern on the teapot looks incredible.
少年少女たちよ、今日も君たちはイーデン校の新たな歴史の1ページを紡ぐ。
I must say I'm a fan of how they focus on different things. The last episode was entirely about Lloyd and his mistrust of Yor, and now we're back to the events of school, trying to gain awards, seeing school events and such. After being fairly sparse in the first half, I'm hugely grateful for all of these scenery shots in the second half.
ドッジボール、確かボールを当てて相手を葬るやつですよね。
葬るって。
やーかい。
That.
スタミナも大事ですよ。アーニャさん
This made me laugh so hard, I'm not even kidding. The dog pouring at her.
で、さあ、やってみましょう。
My waifu and definitely not yours is the best! The whole training montage with a couple of movie references peppered in, like I think Rocky at the very end.
この試合で MVP を取ってステラを獲得するんだ。出ないと父上に振り向いてもらえない。
Getting some character development on this lad and at the same time Anya, as she starts to understand a little more why he is the way that he is.
ビル・ワトキンス。
ナイスキャッチビル君。幼稚園時代から数々の球技大会を総なめにしてきた。
幼稚園でそんなに大会あんの？
They're nailing the comedy this episode. This is brilliant.
心配ありがとう、総裁の息子ダミアン君。
King from One Punch Man and the funny headless dude from Konosuba. My guy here pulling a razor from Hunter x Hunter with similar animation goodness to boot.
安心しろ、女には手加減す。
それはそれでなんかムカつく。
Destroying it with comedy like it's no big deal. They need to be stopped. They've got to be stopped. Someone do something. Don't just sit there liking the video, leaving a thoughtful comment and subscribing. Do something. Proper good looking effects right there, like it's Mob Psycho 100. All of these fantastic and in some cases hilarious looking attacks.
ああ、分かってる。諦めたらそこで試合終了。
Well, I was having a sip of water when this happened. What's a messy result?
狙うわ、足元。
お、ミスりやがった。ラッキー。
右腕を狙う。ならば左。
This for me is the greatest use of her ability to date, used so hilariously as well. So good!
スライダーシャッター。
どこが女子には手加減よ。
Okay, that right there gets 2 max wins all day long! Not only did it have incredible animation with a rotating shot mixed in, but then it also looked so damn funny with her not moving and then hitting the lad! Oh my goodness! Him saving her even knowing he couldn't then possibly win, character progression and great effects.
光の矢だと思うんです。
Rotating shot like it's easy to do.
必殺スターキャッチ
Same as before, 2 max wins, because effects mixed with that much unexpected hilarity just deserve it. I really also loved the shocked that came out twice from him.
おいアーニャ。
アーニャ今忙しい。
You know what's funny how much can be displayed through facial emotions like this? She knows he's reading about her F grades and half annoyed and half worried about the studying she knows is coming.
満点間違いなし。大丈夫。父っぽく言ってみた。
It's official, she's one of my favourite characters for these kinds of moments. Her face is so funny.
お、かっこいいな。チータか？
学校にいたやつ。
Anya being poor at everything is my new favourite thing.
アーニャ頑張る。とりあえずこの名はほどけ。
At the same time, her perseverance is also definitely a great and win-worthy quality. Such fantastic animators doing way more than needed, like right here.
やっぱちょっと冷たいな。ケン君？
水泳選手になって星ゲットするからプールで練習してくる。うわー！
ちょっと。
Easiest 2 max wins of the entire show thus far. Anya showing her kind soul, figuring out a way to save this boy she doesn't even know, diving into the water after him in spite of not being able to swim well at all. On top of this, we got incredible animation as she runs to him, and an amazing sequence as she runs and dives in after him, ending with my boy Lloyd rescuing them both. Brilliant moment!
ありがとう、ありがとう。
いやー、でかしたジョーちゃん。
Anya getting her first medal. I'm over here like a proud anime wins dad again. That's a very comforting follow-up to show us that he's well. I appreciate that.
見直ったぜ、アーニャさん。友達になってくれ。
Anya's imagination of how events now unfold with her newfound fame. Being nice to animals is still always a win.
生き物を飼うというのは大変なことなのですよ。責任が伴うのです。
スキット！
やっぱくせえな、ここ。早く帰ろうぜ。
This made me very sad. Well done evoking that emotion from me. Prime example of what these mad lads and ladies often do. Just loads of movements in a scene most wouldn't bother to do.
お皿片付け。
ありがとうございます、アーニャさん。
Triceratops!
オペレーションストリクス以外にも日に数件の別任務。
Showing the normal human side to Lloyd makes him so much more relatable. The coughing after smoking since he's given it up with Anya around, and being knackered by the extra missions in spite of a brave face to his colleague.
率先して普通の家族っぽく振る舞わねば。てなわけで週末を。
It never occurred to me before, but the music is often a nice touch in this. This piece reminds me of LA Noire, which fits the 50s, 60s vibe often felt in the anime.
遊びに連れてってくれる父も、父に優しい母も、とってもいい人です。
そういうことで失敬。
待って、いい人で普通の父。早くしないと水族館潰れる。
Anya being Anya. I've got so much more respect for Lloyd after the start of this episode, just showing how hard he's working all the time. Like, I legit felt out of breath myself, and I think the voice actor does a fantastic job of sounding insanely tired in the moment too, which helps.
父、あのペンギンさん、苦しそう。
やたらと水を飲んでは吐き出してる。
Anya being helpful and learning that she can listen to animals too is a 50-50 split on this win, and as an aside, I'm angry seeing this poor animal being used to transport the bad guy intel. Like, genuinely angry.
ロイドさん、お疲れで喉が渇いてるんですね。
好きだ。
この ID 偽物ですね。
My boy once again showcasing his extreme levels of intelligence.
なんだお前。
誘拐される。
うちの子に何するんですか。
好きだ。
Honestly, what a treat this was. Just being taken around the house by Anya with her new big toy, introducing it to everything. It's so childish, but so adorable and perfect for the episode. Have a final win here for the end of the episode. After a telling off, they make their way to the candy store to buy Anya an apology suite. It's incredibly sweet and cute. I loved it. Thanks so much for watching this video. Again, a like and a comment go a long way. My Patreon is also down below if you want to vote in anime for me to cover and get loads of other stuff. It helps massively. And of course, I'll see you in the second half down the road. Chris Harris, Ted L, Inakami and Water, Manuel Morales, Marquez, Nick Wyndham, Keeper, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Blitzcow, Brandon Creer, Gaten 2000, Kieran Robinson, Cumfroig, Kim Munt, Magnus, Matthew Castelline, Nathan Burr, Sean, Ali50, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Guru, Isel Caldera, Yor Edvinson, Jonas Stahl, Jordan Samuels, Jaffa6263, Kelnock, Kepan, Kevin Nalter, Conito, Luis Cruz, Matthew Blanchett, Matt the Marshmallow, 9028, Sentimento, Storm 970, The Elementator Wars.